Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Today we are going to attempt another mini mission, and this time we are going to Duna. And let's just say it was easier to say that we are going to Duna than actually do that and go to this damn place. You will see how it goes. So we're going with our usual ascent, nothing extraordinary or problematic here. The first part of the journey is actually quite simple. Just going to the orbit of Duna is perfectly easy and can be done with almost any design. It doesn't take anything. Here we are with our encounter, and let's execute our injection burn. And we are almost near the Duna itself. Well, we are actually just leaving, but it will take us only a couple minutes to get into the Duna sphere of influence, and we are there. On the way there, we actually ran out of fuel, so we had to transfer a little bit from our return stage, but it was only a couple meters of delta V, so we should be okay. And this is where problems began. Landing on Duna only with parachutes is a bit tricky, because the atmosphere is so thin and parachutes can't really stop you until you're at very low altitude. And most of places on Duna are 2, 3, 4,000 above the sea level. Here is the little mix of the failed landings. Most of them failed not because the craft was moving too fast, but because the density of the atmosphere at the point of landing was still too thin, and the terminal velocity with parachutes wasn't enough to actually stop. Well, what if we change the landing place? That was the first attempt. Another attempt was to actually leave some of the fuel and the interplanetary stage below to make sure that center of mass of the ship is lower, and maybe that will somehow stabilize this ship bottom down. But as you see, it doesn't really work out. And after a couple of attempts, some of them were pretty hilarious, like this one, we actually managed to get the decent landing spot, which was only 2,500 meters above the sea level, which meant that we can actually land there and our ship will be slow enough not to tip over. So here we are going on the landing with our drag chutes, which will open now. And now we're going to change them to proper chutes. And touchdown. So let's just go outside, plant our flag, because we don't really need anything else. We actually don't have any scientific package on the ship, because we already have all the science tree. And now let's, after waiting for transfer window, let's travel back to Kerbin. I think this was the most difficult part of the whole journey, because the delta V budget is very limited, and it takes very precise maneuvering to get home. First, we're getting in the orbit, and as you can see, I've already made a mistake going into very elliptical orbit, but hopefully we're going to be fine. So let's now create our maneuver node for return and execute it. Of course, this maneuver is not going to get us directly to Kerbin, so we will orbit around the sun until we get this, an encounter with Kerbin. Honestly, that took I don't know how long. Probably 1 hour of just orbiting around the sun and doing nothing. So after some orbital corrections, which spent all of our delta V, we got this encounter with the planet itself, and that's the best I could come up with. You don't want to know how many tries it took and how many times Jebediah had to get out of the ship and push it with his little EVA package. It wasn't pretty. But after long last, we finally enter the atmosphere, and thankfully, because we don't use deadly re-entry or anything like that, we don't burn up and don't get crushed by gravity. Awesome. So all we have to do is recover our vessel, and it is also that point in the episode where I have to say thank you all for watching. Remember to like, dislike and comment this video in the section below. My name is Darlock, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye!